Welcome to First Down Sports. As always, I'm your host, Ray Dunn. Sitting with me at the table tonight, as usual, down at the far end is my brother, Chris.
How's it going, eh?
Hi.
Also,
It's a little bit weird.
also sitting in the middle of the table tonight is my producer, Andy Jardine.
Yeah. My Chris impression. Hey.
Hey. Also at the back of the room on sound and audio, as always, is my little brother, Nick Dunn.
Nicky.
Hi, guys.
I didn't give it to you, Nick.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Nick.
I think that's one too many.
All right,
Chris
we've
impressions.
we've definitely lost half our listeners, which puts us down to one.
I think
All
that's
right.
that's factual.
It's factual.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's
fine.
real.
All right, so listen. Let's before we get going here, we got to always talk about our sponsors. We went through a lot of Moose Light this weekend.
Yes, we
I
did.
had a number of Moose Lights, and boy, they were scary good. Scary good.
Scary consequences.
Yeah.
I went to Fredericton the next day.
There was a few.
Did a
things-
presentation.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hats, shirts, jackets, pens. I think you guys get it by now. You got to go see our buddies, the Doyles.
Wheelbarrows.
Doyle's corporate image.
Doyles too. The Doyles rule.
Doyle's. If you want a logo on anything, go see the Doyles.
Anything at all. Tattoos.
And again, if your kitchen sucks, and you know most likely it does, you got to go get yourself some Done Right sauce. Done Right sauce was the big sponsor this weekend of our Bills tailgate party.
Yep.
We had wings. We had
Sausage.
sausage. That's right. We had sausages.
We had so many
And
sausages.
the Done Right sauce was flowing like crazy.
Yeah.
Almost as good as the Moose Light.
Almost.
True.
It
Yeah.
was pretty saucy.
Yep.
You guys know where to get this by now. Go check out the Done Right Sauce website, donerightsauce.com, and you can go find out where you can pick up this fine product.
Multiple grocery stores.
That's too long of a
Multiple.
plug. That's too long of a plug.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some football because we got a lot of football to talk about this week. First of all, did you guys watch last night? We had a crazy college national championship between Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah.
Good game.
Did you guys get a chance to watch this game?
I had a meeting down at the Five Bridges, and I was kind of, as they were talking, I was looking over the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I was trying to catch it. But I saw the comeback. Great comeback. Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I phased in and out of it a bit, but because I wasn't expecting an all SEC SEC or whatever final to be too exciting, and I'm so sick of seeing Alabama on TV. But yeah, it was an exciting game. It was
Wow.
fun. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, who has started for Alabama all year, he was pulled out of this game fairly early.
Yeah.
And in the latest version of the name game, I'm going to get Andy to tell us the name of the quarterback that came in to replace him.
Can you hold it up to me? Because I remember seeing it.
Not going to do that.
That's Tua Tagovailoa.
To know.
Tagulio?
I'm gonna
let me try it.
I'm gonna pronounce his second last name you have written here. It's Rookie.
Rookie. There you go.
Let me give it a crack at this. To know, gonna say this one. Nope.
All right. Anyway, he was a lefty quarterback and pretty fun to watch.
He throws that overtime touchdown to Devontae Smith. And here's the interesting thing. That catch was the only catch he had all night for 41 yards and a touchdown in overtime.
Torched that corner. My
So that's
gosh.
5 college championships that Nick Saban has.
Yep.
Chris, is he the greatest coach of all time?
No.
No? Who would you guys put ahead of Nick Saban at this point? He's got 5 college trophies.
I'm just trying to be controversial.
Division 1.
Are we talking all sports?
I'm talking
Chip
football.
Kelly. Chip Kelly.
Football.
Just football.
Name one
I say
coach.
Chip Kelly college. In college, we're just talking college, right? Does Saban go to, like, are you saying in NFL too?
I'm saying football. Is he the
No.
greatest football
No.
coach of all time?
No.
No.
You gotta,
I mean,
you gotta
I
do something in
definitely-
NFL.
All right,
first.
name one coach you'd
Chip-
put ahead of him.
Well, Belichick's got to do there.
Yeah, Chip Kelly's definitely not in the conversation, but
Well, in college, Chip Kelly was a beast.
Yeah, but he
He
didn't,
didn't have
win
nowhere
5 national
near.
champion- I
He
don't
had
even-
one.
yeah,
Didn't he have
maybe
one
He
with
didn't,
the?
he didn't last
with
as long as
Oregon.
Saban, though. I'd have to look that up, but I
Maybe-
don't think
No.
he's been as long as Saban.
He might have had one national championship. I don't think he had one. But,
The Oregon Ducks. He had a
yeah,
He had a couple there. He
I'd
had
put-
to-
no. He didn't have a couple.
I'd put a whole.
fact check it.
I would put
Fact
a
check.
whole bunch of NFL coaches ahead of Nick Saban.
Okay.
I would. I'd
I
Bill Belichick, Paul Brown, Lombardi. I'd probably put Parcells ahead of.
I'd put
Saban.
Parcells, Brown, Lombardi, Saban, Belichick. That's the top 5 right there.
Right.
All right, let's move into some NFL football games.
He just wanted to slate Belichick. That was the reason for this, right?
All right, you guys didn't play along. All right, let's talk about some NFL football. I know the game you guys want us to talk about, but I'm not ready to talk about that stupid game yet. Instead, let's start off with Tennessee.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's
no,
go to it.
no, I'm going Tennessee,
on.
Kansas City first.
Yeah,
I need
Tennessee,
to
Kansas
I need to work my way into this game.
Tennessee, Kansas City was a good game.
We talk about momentum all the time. Kansas City had all the momentum in this game. Kelsey goes down, out in
Big.
concussion protocol. And then at that point, KC died. And Mariota, who we've been waiting for all year to show us that he can be a good, an elite quarterback,
Yeah.
him and Hunter took over this football game. What do you
Yeah.
guys? What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Henry, I think you mean.
Henry,
Yeah,
Henry,
the
yeah.
running
It's
back.
like,
Yeah.
what's he talking
Henry
about?
Hunter.
Henry Hunter.
Where am I?
There's a Hunter Henry that does
sorry,
not
sorry,
play for
sorry,
either of these teams.
Hunter Helmsley.
Henry.
You mean Hunter Helmsley? Helmsley?
Hunter Hurst. Yeah, the game.
Triple A.
It was a really good game, and the Chiefs were flying. And then you're right, Kelsey going out completely changed the game. It completely changed everything. He's such a dominant tight end, and he's always open, and he's there for Alex Smith, and he makes the catches every time he has to,
Yeah.
which is the difference between the big-time receivers on that team and the tight end.
Yeah.
Those receivers let Alex Smith down way too many times. They made big plays, but there were too many big plays there to be made that they let the ball hit them in the face. They let the ball hit
Yeah.
them in the chest. And Andy Reid, I think, this is only hindsight speaking. It's unfair to say that you would have been calling this at the time, but he abandoned the run.
Yeah.
He abandoned the run, and
With such a strong running back.
too strong
Right.
running back, a really strong running game. And then Marcus, like you said, Marcus Mariota didn't have a very good year, and but still is a good quarterback. But he, all the momentum went their way when he threw the touchdown passes to himself.
Oh my goodness.
Like, listen,
Confidence is a crazy thing, and once you have it, you can do things that you won't be able to. And anyway, Chris, I'm going to shut up now. What do you think?
Well, I think you're right on a lot of your points. The one thing I agree, Mark Legier's on. He says that there was a dirty hit on Kelsey, and I think it was a dirty hit.
It was dirty.
It was pretty
you're right,
bad.
Mark. Yep.
But I don't know if I'm going to give full grade on Mariota yet. A good quarterback finishes the game, and I don't really like how that finished. I'm not really confident at all that he's going to have even a remote chance at New England. I really don't.
No.
I think he can extend the plays with his legs, and he's going to have some throws, but I just don't think he's going to beat New England. I don't think it's going to be even close. I think New England's going to be able to easily scheme for him.
Yeah, I don't think that this puts him into the elite
No.
status just yet, but it was a huge step for him. Huge step.
Well, here's
big
one.
playoff.
Here's
Good
the
momentum. I like the momentum.
Here's the one thing that I took away from this game is we always talk about those quarterbacks that have that will to win.
Yeah.
They find a way to win.
Yeah.
And Mariota did that in this game. And that's a scary thing when a quarterback gets the confidence of learning how to win a football game.
Yeah. When he threw that block,
Oh,
you knew how dialed in he was, right?
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, that
and
was
he just resorted to his instincts at that point, and he started having fun.
Yeah.
And when he threw that block, that was
yeah.
Start me in this one. I don't know if we want to even talk, but do you think KC now blows it all up? I keep seeing rumors of that's it. Smith's gone.
Well,
Yeah,
They're going to blow up this all.
They
I
just lost their offensive coordinator.
Right.
Let's leave that because we're going to touch on
Okay.
that at the end of the show.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move on. Do we want to get into Buffalo now? Are we ready? Or
Let's do it. Rip the
All right,
Band-Aid.
let's rip it off. Here we
Rip
go.
that Band-Aid.
The Buffalo Bills, in the first time in 17 years, make the playoffs. They go into against Jacksonville. We had a great group of guys. Mike Williamson, Brad LeBlanc, even Andy joined our Buffalo Bills party.
He's a flip-flopper.
We had an excellent host in William Evans, or Evan Williams if you go by Facebook, and we had a great time. Chris, get us started with your thoughts on the Bills Jaguars.
Boring. It was for the people that like defense, it was an exciting game, and I appreciated it. Both quarterbacks were not going to rip up these defense. It was already a foregone conclusion. One of our buddies, Mike Frazier, laid into me saying that my analysis of the game was off, but I'm going to argue it. I told him, I said, if we don't score quick, if Tyrod was not able to score quick, we were going to be in trouble, and that they're going to be able to figure him out like a lot of teams do. That's why you see Tyrod not being able to score in the third and fourth quarters. It's not a coincidence. They're able to make changes, and he can't adapt to the change.
Yeah,
we weren't able to score. In hindsight, I was arguing with you guys at the time that it was good to take the field goal rather than the 4th and 1.
You weren't arguing with me.
Well, we were saying, but you know what? That
I was on
hindsight, maybe that should have been the call. Go for it. Get that 7 points, because you know how the trend usually is.
10-0 would have hurt a lot more, Chris.
But the defense were very strong. Bortles is not what's he's going to be an easy quarterback for these teams to just eat up, and they better hope the defense wins the games, because that's the only way Jacksonville is going anywhere. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Well, for me, watching this game.
Can I really quickly just tell everybody that if you're watching on Facebook live right now or later, by Thursday, this show will be available on YouTube. And if you go watch on YouTube, there's going to be multiple videos of the Bills party that I attended and some of the shenanigans going on, just playing over top of our discussion here. And you may want to see some of these highlights.
There may have been a few tables broke.
There were broken tables. There were punches in the face that were good-natured. And I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Ray. Yeah.
It was a great time. I really enjoyed myself. I got up that morning, and I literally couldn't wait to get the day started and get going.
Yep.
We sat out minus 31 degrees, and we were sitting out on that back deck drinking beers, eating wings and sausages. It was a great, great day.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is this. The Buffalo Bills had the ball 2nd and goal on the 1-yard line. Jacksonville goes offsides, giving the Bills first down. Yeah. First and goal at the 1-yard line with another 3 attempts to get the ball in the end zone.
Yep.
And nothing happens. Just last week, we saw a play where they brought in Kyle Williams and let him plow the ball. Like, why not take one of those shots? McCoy does not have the strength with that ankle that he was laboring on.
Yeah.
Rick Dennison, here's my biggest question. Nick, I'm throwing this to you. Chris, you're next. Tyrod, Rick Dennison. Let me rephrase my question. Who should leave or who should be fired? Tyrod Taylor, Rick Dennison, or both?
Both.
Yeah, I'll do my baseball impression. Yike! Both of them out of here.
They got to go.
Both.
Like it was terrible.
Garbage.
And I know there's guys out there, Scotty Chisholm, I know you're listening. You're going to say to me, who are you going to get instead of Tyrod Taylor? That's like, who are you going to get for Tyrod Taylor?
I can tell you.
And how are you what are you going to have to get up to give him? At this point, the Bills have got to make a decision on the future of this football team, and Tyrod Taylor is not it. He's got to go.
Yep.
We need a quarterback that can come in and throw for 200 yards a game. And 200 yards in today's NFL is not a lot of yards.
It's not.
No.
He can't. I can't think of many games this year where he did throw over 200 yards.
Let alone 100.
You know,
Right?
the unfair part is maybe we're saying that the offense coordinator should go, but if you got a scheme for Tyrod Taylor as your quarterback, maybe we don't know what we have yet. So, but I don't want to chance it. I don't want to chance it. Get rid of
You
it.
had 6 attempts to get that ball in the end zone from the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
As an offensive coordinator, if you can't scheme to get 1 yard, I don't care how good that defense is, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Well, so I'll comment on the game a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right. So I was the only person at the table in the room that picked the Jags to win, obviously. And
Thanks for that.
But I'm going to say that the game didn't go the way I thought it would. I thought the Jags were going to be able to score.
You thought they were going to blow them out.
Well, no, I mean, it was what I called was under a 2-score victory, but I thought both teams were going to be able to sort of score.
Yeah.
I thought the Jags would put up 27 points, and I thought the Bills, maybe 14.
That Bills defense, they shut down Fournette.
They played really good.
They played
Yeah.
great.
So I'll leave it at that. I will say this: your offensive coordinator, and he's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can probably name almost every offensive coordinator in the NFL. And I was sitting there watching the game with you guys, and I actually looked at Nick at one point and said, "You're OC," and then I realized right off the bat I had no idea who your offensive coordinator was, and I asked Nick who it was.
Yeah.
I was reading Nick
Rick Riley?
Nick also did not know, but I wasn't going to say that.
I will do that.
Yeah, so I had no idea.
He's a Sabres guy.
And then I read a bunch of stories and some really some guys that have been covering the NFL for 40 years for some other teams. I was reading some of their stuff or listening to some of their stuff, and I actually saw multiple comments of people going, I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is for the Buffalo Bills. Do they have one? Because there's something wrong here. So I'll leave that at that. And yes, you guys have to move on to from Tyrod Taylor. Are we going to get into quarterback stuff?
Yeah, we are. At the end of the show, I've got some quarterback conversation.
So all I'm going to say is you absolutely have to move on to Tyrod Taylor, and I'll give my thoughts in a little while on what I think the Bills should do. I see an Alex Smith comment here. Alex Smith is going to be discussed in depth later, Mark. To multiple places.
Yeah,
so.
we will.
Mark has no patience. Let's talk about it right now.
All right, let's go.
Zero
Let's go Atlanta and LA Rams. So this was another big discussion, and I'll go out on it. I'll go out and tell you guys I went 0 for 4 this weekend as far as picking games go.
Oh, thank goodness for the Bills losing. I went 1 for 4.
Yeah. LA Rams comes out hosting their first. I picked this. Their first playoff game in their new state or in the stadium they're playing in, and the Matt Ryan that we talked about actually showed up and played, and that veteran leadership definitely played a big role in this game.
He never showed up to the second half, though.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about
Yeah,
that
we
at the
did.
time?
We did talk about that.
And the Rams to close out the first half, Jared Goff suddenly just started having fun and was winging it all over the place.
He got some confidence there.
Yeah, and then Atlanta's, like I said, I haven't believed in Atlanta this year, and I've been one of the people saying that, I think they're really going to miss Kyle Shanahan, but they have a much better defense this year than they did last year.
Yeah,
you can see it now, and that defense made every adjustment required to tame the Rams' offense, which is really tough to. I mean, they got weapons everywhere. So I was very disappointed with the way that game went. I still don't believe in the Falcons. I think this is probably the end of the road, though. If they win this next game, gosh, I hope they win the Super Bowl and redeem themselves. But I called the Rams on this.
Well, I'll tell you this, and Chris, I want your comment on this. If there's one thing that the Rams have done over the years that really impresses me, they saw something in Robert Woods, went out and got this guy,
paid him,
and this guy is a phenomenal wide receiver.
He is.
Much better than Sammy Watkins.
You guys are
going to
think. I remember how you were floored, and we have this argument all the time, Chris, and I keep saying it was a really good contract. When you look at what the market is for receivers, Robert Woods is now officially underpaid.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But based on his production that he did before, that was a big gamble, Andy.
But that was just the market. That's what
I still-
free
I
agent
think it's
receivers you had to pay them.
It was a risk. It was still a risk. And,
Well, but somebody had to
paid
take
off. It paid off.
Yeah, somebody had to take that risk.
Look, he was touted as one of the better route runners, and I kept saying that when he was in Buffalo. And I think you made fun of me a few times, if I recall.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't believe in him in Buffalo at all.
Yeah, like he
So
ran
you're right.
routes well, and when Walken's out, I didn't really see him being a legit number one.
Yeah.
But man, he got open, and that's what you see typical with Tyrod is
Yeah.
he can't hit it. Like when you see the replay, you see a lot of open receivers.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
I gave you so much grief over thinking Robert Woods was a really good number 2 receiver in the Bills, yet I still thought the contract he signed was good. And I will flat out tell you right now, I was wrong about him in terms of what he turned out to be.
Did you record that?
But I really do think he's underpaid right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Andy
Sammy
Ross?
Watkins drops a big ball in the second half in the end zone. Andy, how big of a loss was this to the Rams?
Not that big. I think
Because they're a young team, and
if you look at this season, their second year in Los Angeles, they didn't sell out the giant stadium but I mean they had a good 65,000 people there. I think I heard.
yeah,
Man, I mean, for them to go all in on Goff with Jeff Fisher for their first year in LA and look like an absolute joke. Todd Gurley suddenly looks like he can't even play for their first year there. Goff looks like a flop. They change to this young head coach. They come in, they win that many games, and they go to the play. Like there's nothing but good things to
there is
expect from the Rams.
What will be interesting to see is if they re-sign Sammy Watkins or if Watkins I don't think Watkins is worth big money at all.
I think he'd be dynamite, the 49ers.
Well,
I think he would.
We'll see. All right, let's go. Carolina 26, New Orleans Saints 31. Chris, the Panthers stalled 4 times in the red zone, settled for 4 field goals.
Yeah.
Is this Cam Newton's fault?
It's a tough one because you don't get to see like I kind of how they're pitching the new camera where you can see the whole field and you really can't see downfield to see what
The eye in the sky.
Yeah, like I kind of really like the new camera thing. It's a lot like Madden, and some of the traditionalists are saying that we don't like, but you can't really see downfield to see how open maybe people are.
Yeah.
But from what I'm seeing, what I saw, I do tend to go on. It is Newton's fault, holding the ball too long, trying to make something happen too much. When he circled around and got hit on the button, I think he held it for way too long.
Yeah.
At the very end, either go for it, or it's a tough one. But I'm not a fan of him, so maybe that's more. What
Andy, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a combination. I think it's part Cam Newton's fault and part the organization's fault for not putting the right tools on the team, right? Like their running game is him.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there's injuries playing into that, right? But their running game is him. They don't want him to run anymore. They want him to be a pocket passer, and he doesn't know when things get tough. It's the same as Tebow, right? You could work on it, not to go on a big Tim Tebow tangent. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You can work on their mechanics. You can try to change how they deliver the ball, how all their footwork is going down. At the end of the day, when the rush is coming, when things get tough, and when your team's down, you resort to what you know.
Yeah.
And Cam resorts to what he knows, which is thinking he's bigger than everybody on the field and running, trying to make the home run pass. I don't like Cam. I think he's overrated, but I don't think it's completely his fault. I think they finally got him to the right place that year when they went to the Super Bowl, and then he imploded. But he can get back to that, but the organization didn't surround him with what he needed, and they had some injuries.
Well, the Carolina organization don't think it's Cam's fault, obviously, because they fired offensive coordinator Mike Shula and quarterback coach Ken Dorsey as of today.
Well,
Gone.
That's fair, but I mean, even if you do think it's Cam's fault, you have so much invested in this guy, and it's so hard to find a quarterback
Exactly.
that it's somebody else's fault by default.
That's it.
I'm going to do one challenge on that. But really, you don't
Sure.
think that they don't have a run? I think they have a lot of tools there.
Well, with Jonathan Stewart injured, McCaffrey is a Duke Johnson type player. Not to name drop a Brown of all things to compare it to, but he's not a
Scat back.
He's not a between the tackles runner. So at the end of the day, to have a power running game in Carolina, which they try to do, it's Cam. Cam's the guy running
running.
between the tackles.
That's fair enough.
Like Woodhead. Like Woodhead.
Yeah, like a Duke Johnson,
Yeah,
a
let's
Danny
not
Woodhead, like
mention
those
another
guys.
Browns again.
Yeah, all right.
Let's not.
Right.
All right.
You got to at least win one.
All right,
game
we
from now
gotta,
on.
guys. We
That's
gotta,
it.
we gotta,
That's true.
we gotta fly here. We got lots of stuff to cover. All right, let's get into games coming up this weekend. Saturday at 4:30 Eastern time. You've got Atlanta going into Philly. This game really comes down when you look. I did some stats on this. Total yards gained by both teams during the year: 364 for Atlanta, 365 for Philadelphia. Total yards against is 318 for Atlanta, 306 for Philly. These teams are very, very close heading into this game. Does it come down to Nick Foles versus Matt Ryan? Chris, what do you think?
Nick Foles over Matt Ryan.
No, I'm asking,
Oh.
does this game come down to those two players?
No, not at all. No. I think there's more. I think the defense is what Philly needs a lot. But on Atlanta, I'm going all over the place. Atlanta, yes. Philadelphia, no.
Okay, what do you think, Andy?
I was gonna say no, but now that I review my answer in my head, I think the answer is yes. Like
Yeah.
I think Philly's chance in this game comes down to, can Nick Foles do enough against the Atlanta defense?
Right.
And he's such a hot and cold. You never know what you're going to get with Nick Foles. He might throw 5 touchdowns in this game. He might throw 4 picks.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get with him. It is going to come down to Nick Foles.
Yeah.
And in Atlanta, like you saw, we had the non-existent Matt Ryan for the entire first half of the Rams game.
Yeah.
And we were thinking the Rams, they just came back to get really close within 3 points at half. They're going to run away with this thing.
Yeah.
And then Matt Ryan showed up. So, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
that's why I pose that question to you. When I look at the numbers and the statistics from the season, to me, there's no question this is between Nick Foles and Matt Ryan. If we see the Matt Ryan that we saw in the second half of this past weekend's games, I got to take Matt Ryan. Let's make our picks. Let's start with Nick at the back table. Nick, who do you got, Atlanta or Philly this weekend?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, do you have a score?
No.
No.
They
Chris, what do you got? Atlanta, Philadelphia.
I'm going to go with the momentum we talked about, and I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy?
Philadelphia, 21-17.
Wow.
Yeah,
Close.
I think
defense.
I think Foles is going to do enough, and I think we might see a defensive score for Philly. I think the bad Matt Ryan is going to be there just long enough. I won't be surprised if I'm wrong, but I'm going Philly.
Well, Jason Kenny, I hate to disappoint you, but keep in mind I did go 0-4 this past weekend, so I may be doing
You sure
you a
did.
favor because I'm going Atlanta 28-13 in a convincing win over the Eagles, and I love the Eagles. I love the defense, but
If that
just-
happens, those Eagles fans are going to just break things.
I just don't like Nick Foles. All right, Chris. Tennessee versus New England. Derrick Henry. So I don't know where Hunter came from. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a bruising back, and he showed how tough he can run that ball. Mariota showed his never quit attitude. They're going in against the Patriots. What shot do you give Tennessee in this game?
Very little. Maybe 10%. I think they're going to have their plays. I think Henry's going to have some possibly good stats in the end, but in the end, it's going to mean very little points.
Okay.
Like New England Classic D, bend don't break.
What about with all the stuff that's going on in New England? Is that going to have any impact on this game?
Say that again.
With all the ESPN article that
No.
came out, that no impact on this game.
You know what? Even if they hate each other, they're still going to go in. They're in the playoffs. Maybe if this is regular season stuff,
Okay.
you may see some little bit of wavering, but they're in the playoffs. Their mind's focused. Brady's going to put any side of drama on the side. He wants another ring. No, nothing.
Okay. Andy, what do you got?
I think Chris has completely lost his mind. I think that... No, I'm kidding. I agree with every word he said. As much as I'd like to see the Titans put on a little bit of a show here or something like that, what they did in the against the Chiefs is not even going to remotely cut it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I hate to say that too. I think the only chance that Tennessee has is by controlling the ball, controlling the clock, and stopping Dion Lewis. I think if they can stop Dion Lewis, then they have a chance.
I think they can stop. I think they can stop Dion Lewis.
That's the only way I see Tennessee having a shot in this ball game.
This is delicious.
Nick, do you have a pick in this game?
Patriots all the way.
Patriots? God damn it, I got to take the Patriots. All right. I'm going to give the score 1-0 Patriots. All right, let's go to
2-0. And it's like one Mariota type of play.
Hey, you know what? If anybody can figure out something in the rule book for the NFL to get a rouge, Belichick can figure it out.
Belichick can figure it out.
All right. Yeah.
All right, let's go to those damn Jacksonville Jaguars against Pittsburgh this weekend. I'll start this one out. Jacksonville is already beat Pittsburgh earlier this year.
Sure did.
Antonio Brown is back and will be on the field, which is great for Pittsburgh. I mean, now those three weapons, Bryant has been playing better, Juju Smith, and now you got Antonio Brown with Bell back there. Based on the points that we could see Blake Bortles put up against the Bills defense, I think Pittsburgh spanks Jacksonville this weekend, and I'm going to say 35. I had 17. I'm going 35-7.
35-7.
35-7.
Wow.
What do you guys got?
I think they're going to pin up that little headline of Jacksonville beating them in the regular season, and they're going to come in so hangry that it's going to be a blow too.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
Bortles is brutal.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to compliment your Buffalo Bills here, and I'm going to say that I think the defenses are not even comparable. I think Pittsburgh's number one corner, former Brown, Joe Hayden, who gets beat in a big spot more than most. I think that Jacksonville is going to score in this game, and I'm not ready to say I can't call a Jacksonville win because of Blake Bortles. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
right.
I think this is going to be close, and I'm going to call 30-27.
Wow! That's a big scoring game.
Really close, and I think if you guys watch this game, I think you're going to see I think watching this fresh off of that horrible game you just witnessed, I think you're going to see how good the Bills' defense is compared to the Steelers.
Okay.
Granted.
Let's go New Orleans, Minnesota. We've got basically a strong offense
This is a tough one.
versus
It's gonna be
a
the best game of the
strong defense. Just to give you guys a heads up here, Case Keenum has thrown for 3,547 yards and 22 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
This kid's played very impressive.
Yeah.
Is it enough to compete with Drew Brees? Ooh. Andy, you're on the clock.
I'm on the clock. So I can't go there yet. I want to see the Vikings go. I want to see the Vikings play in the Super Bowl, which will be in Minnesota. I want to see it happen. I think they're a great story this year. I think their defense is probably the best in the league. And I think Case Keenum's a really good quarterback. But I haven't seen him play in the playoffs yet. They had that bye. If they were here because they won a wild card game, then I would have a much easier time. Drew Brees looks like Drew Brees. Drew Brees suddenly looks like 31-year-old Drew Brees. And that may sound old, but that was 8 years ago or something. But Drew Brees is looking so good, and I haven't seen Keenum in the playoffs yet. So I'm going to go Saints, but I think it's going to be a real tough game, and I don't think you're going to see Drew Brees pin up 30 points on that defense. But I'm going to go Saints.
Okay.
I think it's going to be really close. I like Kamara back there, Ingram, Brees is a beast. I'm not really too confident on the Saints defense.
No.
And I like the logic that you're saying because I'd usually go towards that logic, but I'm going to go with Keenum. And
Nice.
the reason why is this is he's a journeyman QB.
Yeah, it's good.
He's not a rookie QB. He's playing for basically to be Bradford. Still, I don't know if you saw that report that we're sitting back on Bradford. There's really no comment on what they're doing with Bradford. So he's still got that sitting in the back of saying this is not for sure my team next year.
You're right, Chris. Case Keenum's already made himself a ton of money this year, but winning this game,
he's
almost moved the decimal point.
Yeah.
He is 100% then the quarterback. I love Minnesota's defense over Philly's. I'm going to go with the stronger defense and with the factor that this guy's playing for everything. So I'm going all the way Minnesota.
Nice. Luke calls Minnesota 27-26.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be very close.
I also have a close game in this. Just to guys I told Andy real quick after watching that Carolina New Orleans game.
Nolans.
I played 2 games on Madden with New Orleans and I destroyed my opponents.
I would just like to bring up the fact that you went 0-4 last week and brought Madden into the conversation then too. I'm not really sure that should instill any confidence.
I'm going to go with my Madden and I'm going to take New Orleans 24-21 over Minnesota.
All right, well, congrats Minnesota
Nick,
on the win.
Vikings. Nick's with the Vikings all the way.
Nice.
Any score back there?
I sold it.
You did. I'm going to say 30-27.
Wow, 30-27. So all close scores. Great. That is your NFL review of the upcoming games this week, guys. It's going to be 4 really good football games here, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, before we get out of here, we still got some time left. Let's get to some odds and ends. And for my podcast listeners that don't watch the video, we are so fortunate tonight to have John Gruden in studio.
No, I can't.
Gruden is officially the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. 10-year contract. Big money is out on the table. Gruden, how do you feel about taking over this Oakland Raiders team?
I'll give you one. I'll tell you what, man.
Is this Tony Montana?
I haven't won a game since 2006, man, but I haven't lost any either. That's all I got for you.
That was good.
You want to play with the bad guy? Yeah?
That's 2 spots.
I know, it instantly turns into that.
Tony Montana.
I put you on the spot twice
Hey, man.
tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
All right, let me just throw this out to you guys real quick.
I'm going to put a still pick up right now of the Gruden press conference where
Yeah.
him and Mark Davis, they look, he purposely did his hair stupid and they wore the same suit. They look exactly the same.
It's
You can
hilarious.
tell it's a joke. Yeah.
Who do you think's going to replace Gruden in that Monday Night Football?
Aussie Man rules. The Aussie Man review.
It's a funny joke, but but seriously,
Do you think? Do you
That'd be
think?
awesome.
Do you think somebody like Rex Ryan?
No.
No,
Oh, you know what? It could be, but
Rex has got a big personality
Rex-
too,
Rex-
but he hasn't impressed me as much on
No,
ESPN.
he's just a blowhard. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to hear Rex.
Yeah, that's the type of personality I think they need. So Rex is a pretty good call, but
Romo. That's right, Romo.
Yeah, but Romo's locked in with CBS.
Yeah,
he's
he's locked
not
in.
leaving CBS because he wants
Oh,
to.
nailed it, Mark, though. That would be a perfect.
No,
perfect.
but he wants to call the Masters, and that's why he's with CBS.
Yeah.
He's not leaving.
Right.
Unless you want to bet Andy another case of beer on that.
I'm not touching Romo.
Tony Romo is going to start for Minnesota next week. I think. Yeah, he's going to come in and win the
Dennis
Super Bowl.
Miller's going to come back then.
Yeah.
Dennis Miller would be a lot of fun. I mean, like,
He's a nutcase. He's out in left field now, Dennis Miller. Have you
Sure.
seen
You know-
him?
you know-
yeah, absolutely.
You know
Oh
who would
my
honestly
God.
be, and he's got some background in the NFL, is Jimmy Kimmel, something like that. Jimmy Kimmel would be great.
Yeah,
he's
but
got
he's-
some sports,
but he's-
but he's got a sports background.
Yeah.
yeah, but
he's locked in with-
He's a late night.
He's
coach.
not
That'd
doing
be
that.
awesome.
They couldn't possibly pay
No.
him.
Well,
enough
Dennis
to-
Miller Live was going at the same time.
Yeah,
All right,
but-
listen. I thought I'd throw that out there.
I don't
Let's-
know, but it has to be somebody like that.
The only reason why I said Rex is he's in the ESPN family now.
How about the other guy that I'm gonna mess up his name right, but the two guys that we say have a lot of input on the NFL draft. It's always Gruden and
McShay?
no,
Todd
not,
McShay?
not Todd McShay.
Mel Kiper Jr.?
Nope.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
I think he would be another one.
He's
I
a
don't know.
big
Maybe
big college guy though.
Maybe he's too technical though.
All right, let's
I'll
move
put
on.
I'll put that on our website after.
So Kansas City.
George Strombo.
Can-
Strombo. Yeah. That was a big hit with hockey, wasn't it? So, yeah.
Kansas City, they lose that game, and Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator, leaves Kansas City to take the head coach job with Trubinsky as his
Yep, there's no
quarterback.
end in that, but yep.
And
Trubisky.
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 Now, this is kind of when I look at it, this is kind of a similar hire as Sean McVay taking over for the Rams with Goff. What do you think, Andy?
It is. I agree 100%. And this guy's one of the hottest prospects. Andy Reid said it's his best coaching prospect that's worked under him before.
Yeah.
And everybody has been talking about him all season as a guy that's going to get looks, and I think it is potentially exactly that.
Yeah.
And it's great. They're marrying up the young, offensive-minded coach with the young quarterback.
That's right.
It's going to be very similar to the Rams.
Yeah.
We,
Chris?
we had Antonio McCary say that it's Mike Mayock.
Oh,
yeah,
Mayock.
that's right. Mayock.
Mayock.
Yeah, of
Mayock.
course. Yeah.
Thanks, Tony. That's great. That's awesome.
Mayock is
He's a college guy,
bit
though.
Technical, but
He's a
he'd be
college
pretty
technical,
good. Rich
but-
Eisen would be interesting, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know.
Another big news story this week. Tom Brady celebrated the Garoppolo trade. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, but he didn't. So
He didn't?
he did not celebrate.
Did I get that story wrong?
I think you left out the word "not,"
Oh, not.
and
okay.
it was actually a quote from him. So yeah, no, he didn't. I talked about it on Instagram earlier before Chris got here, but Chris said the same thing as me. I'm sure the three biggest egos in the world, Kraft, Brady, and Belichick, they're all finally reached a point where they all think they're the biggest part of this winning streak.
Yeah.
And egos are colliding. But at the end of the day, they all like winning, and they're going to coexist.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Here's the big story. Chris, we're going to shut our mics off here and let Andy go. Johnny Manziel has been offered a contract by the Hamilton Ticats. Andy, what is going on with Johnny Manziel?
Johnny Manziel is still an idiot. But I very much hope he's coming to the CFL.
The Boz are going to be great.
They offered him a
Boz.
contract, but his agent came out and broke the silence in a big, big way and basically said, well, they gave us this contract just so that this stupid CFL rule, which it is stupid, by the way,
Yeah.
where they don't lose his negotiation rights, but at the end of it, we're going to negotiate with them only, but we want the money that they paid their previous quarterback, despite that previous quarterback not having much success. That quarterback clearly is Zach Collaros, who they just traded, and he was the highest paid player in all of CFL.
Wow.
So they're basically saying, if you want Johnny Manziel to come play quarterback for you, and they already re-signed Jeremiah Masoli, their quarterback from last year,
Yeah.
who's a very good quarterback, and probably would beat Johnny Manziel out in camp while Manziel figures out the CFL game.
Yeah.
He wants to be the high. Basically, what they're saying is he wants to be the highest paid player in the CFL. That's a bit much, Johnny.
That's a good way. That's a good way
That's what
to.
he's saying.
That's a good way to get back into the NFL with that attitude.
Exactly. So,
Right.
and he says, whether this works out or not, he's going to be back on a football field in 2018. So I guess he's going to take Instagram shots of him at a high school somewhere.
Just
hanging out.
What I read on Twitter is that Manziel will be approaching the XFL next.
Yeah, but we don't even know the XFL.
We don't even know the 25th
That's
of
unfortunately
January
gonna happen.
25th. That's
Yeah.
when McMahon has his
Johnny needs to sign a crazy incentive-ridden deal where he could be the highest paid player in the CFL if he produces.
That's right.
and
A
just-
performance-based contract,
exactly,
which is popular
and
there.
just I don't know. I'm not feeling good about Johnny. Johnny on Saturday night, which was almost 1 week after the Browns clinched 0-16, decided to troll them for 0-16 by posting a picture 1 week after, Chris, on a Saturday night. And when
Isn't
Johnny
he the last win?
when Johnny hits, yes, he's the last 2 wins. When Johnny hits Instagram on a Saturday night, Johnny's been, I think, hitting the bottle.
He's
and
hitting the
that,
bottle. Yeah.
and now I'm not making acquisitions or anything like that, but listen, if you're that late to the party and you suddenly only decide to troll somebody on a Saturday night, I'm worried, Johnny. But I
All
want
right.
to see you in the CFL. Make it happen. Let's go. Go Ticats. Eat them
Go
raw.
Ticats, eat them raw. All right, I got one last topic here before we get out of here, guys.
We got to talk quarterback.
I'm going to talk 3 quarterbacks here.
Yep.
Alex Smith, Tyrod Taylor, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
In 2018 season, will they be on their existing team or new team? And if you say new team, what team?
Okay.
Let's go, Chris.
So which one? Like just name
Let's start with Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
Existing team or new team?
New team.
What team?
Can I say more than one? 2? I'm thinking Browns or Bills.
Browns or Bills? Okay. Tyrod
Trade.
Taylor.
By a trade. Yeah.
All right. Tyrod Taylor Existing or new team?
Cut. And I have no idea.
And you don't know what team?
Nah.
Okay.
Maybe Broncos.
Okay. Kirk Cousins, new or existing?
Whew, that's a tough one. I keep thinking that they're going to move on because you can't franchise him. And is he bitter enough to just move on? San Fran's got their quarterback. I say this is one of my long shot. He's going to be at the same team.
Okay, same team.
Nice.
Andy, let's do the same thing with you.
All right.
Alex Smith, existing or new team?
New team.
New team. What team do you got?
Browns.
Browns.
I
Okay.
think General Manager John Dorsey, who traded for him to bring him to KC, will trade for him to bring him to the Browns. It's the perfect situation. They'll extend him 3 years. They'll draft a number one quarterback. They will invest in the position and do it the right way. The other team, though, is Arizona.
Okay.
If Arizona and whatever they do with a coach, if they can draw him there, I think that's a good scenario for them too. And I know I think the Bills are a long shot here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor,
Existing, new.
new team.
Okay.
But I'll have a hard time. Maybe Arizona to compete.
What about Denver?
I don't think he's that style of quarterback. But no, Elway admitted failure and admitted he failed as coach. There's no way he's going to try to fix the quarterback situation, which he's openly said he has to.
Yeah.
With Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
No, so I don't know.
Kirk Cousins. Existing or new team?
New team.
Okay.
And
What team?
Either the Cardinals or the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And I want it to be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
I want them to clear the cap, and it's time. They're ready to win now. And I know we don't have a ton of time, but let me throw this out to you guys, right? The way you fix your quarterback situation now in the NFL is you overinvest in the position.
Right.
So let me remind you of something, because I bet you've already forgotten. Philly got burned for trading away their future pretty much. They traded away the whole farm to get Carson Wentz. And what did they do that summer? They had signed Sam Bradford to $17 million a year, and had signed Case Keenum to the largest backup contract. It was a Case Keenum or Chase Daniel, one of those two guys.
Chase
To the largest backup contract ever at $7 million, and they still went and got Carson Wentz. Does anybody even remember that anymore?
No.
Doesn't matter, because they got it right. And if the Bears got it right with Trubisky, nobody's going to remember they gave Mike Glennon a bunch of money.
Right.
Go out there and throw assets at the position, because the Bills are just missing a quarterback.
That's
Once
it.
they have the quarterback, they're in.
Yeah.
And so I want them to get Cousins, and if they can, and it's a winning situation there with a good head
And Cousins
coach.
wants to, if he's leaving Washington, he wants to go
That'd
to
be
a
great.
team that can go to the next
Yeah.
level.
I'm going to go Arizona or the Bills. I'm really hoping for the Bills.
Yeah. Awesome. I
hope
can't say I disagree with you guys on that. Nick, I'll ask you real quick. Tyrod Taylor, new or existing team?
Gone. I want him gone.
Gone. All right.
Potentially the
where he
CFL,
goes.
maybe. I don't
Sorry.
even know where Tyrod would go.
Sorry, I don't want to ask Nick any more
Why is he
questions.
so angry?
Go to the Argos.
All right. Before we get out of here, Chris, any final thoughts from your end of the table?
I'm really interested in seeing this playoff game coming up. I'm more looking to see to make sure Jacksonville gets out, because I really want the best team to go. Is that the beeper? I got to
Yeah,
stop, guys.
yeah.
No, you're good. Bye.
I really want to see a New England and Pittsburgh matchup, because
Yeah.
I think the only team that can beat New England is Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh's the only team that can't.
Yeah.
That can't beat
They
them.
cannot beat Pittsburgh to save their lives.
Nick, any final thoughts back there?
Sabres are losing again.
Andy, any final thoughts?
I'm going to waste my final thoughts on getting your thoughts on those three quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor, new team or still in the
Tyrod Taylor will be with a new team, and I see Tyrod Taylor possibly going to Arizona. Outside that, it's hard to say. He'll be a backup somewhere with some team for sure. Kirk Cousins, I'm all in on the Bills trying to make a run at Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but do you think that's legitimately going to happen, or are you seeing something else?
No,
Like,
I think Alex. I think the Bills will either have Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins on their roster heading into 2018.
get
Um,
Kirk. Well, there you go. So
Yeah, there you go.
So Alex Smith, you're thinking Bills as well.
it will be one of those players on the Bills heading into 2018. They've got the cap space.
So none of
I
the
th-
Vikings guys. You're not thinking Bradford, maybe.
Bradford, no. I wouldn't take Bradford. He's proven over and over again that
I'll take him
he can
over what we have.
he cannot. Well, I take him over what we have, but you're not going to get a full season of Bradford behind center.
Maybe.
No.
Teddy Bridgewater would be interesting. I would love to see the doctor's report on Teddy
If the
Bridgewater.
Bills don't get Kirk Cousins, they have to take those 2 first-round picks and their first-round pick in 2019 and package all 3 of them and try desperately to get up to the Colts pick and take their guy this year.
Yeah.
That's what they got to do.
Oh.
And then they still need a veteran.
All
to
right,
play.
hold on here. Here's one more scenario.
Wait, your
Okay.
time is up.
Sorry. Well, Andy brought this up. All right, one other scenario. What if the Bills package their first round picks and come in to Indy and not only trade up, but trade for Andrew Luck?
That never going to happen.
No chance.
Never.
You think Indy's going to keep Luck
one-
on
no one's
with,
gonna
with
have
a
that.
chance
No
with
one's
a
gonna have the
chance
sack
to
to do
pick
that.
a young quarterback like that? You don't think someone's going to take a shot
Nobody
at
will.
Luck?
Nobody will.
Absolutely
That's
not.
going to cost like 5
Andrew
rounds.
Andrew Luck is not available.
Yeah.
Not available.
Let's watch that going into the draft.
mark it.
Let's watch that. I'm going to write it down right here.
Okay.
Before we get out of here, my sponsors.
Write that down.
And I got to do this quick. I'm sorry, sponsors. I know you're watching. Moose Light. This stuff is scary good.
Sorry.
Hats, shirts, jackets, pens.
Wheelbarrows.
Doyle's corporate image.
Doyle's roll.
Doyle's roll. There we go.
Doyle's Roll.
And if your kitchen sucks, go get yourself some Done Right sauce. This stuff is spicy good. I don't know. We gotta-
Quit your
Good
bitching,
shit.
fix your
Right.
kitchen, and all that stuff. Woo! Yeah.
My final thoughts before we get out of
That's
here.
awesome.
Buffalo
No, I
Bills.
just made that up by mistake.
Buffalo Bills, I can't
love it.
thank you enough. Sean McDermott and Brandon Bean, I thought you did a great job for your first year involved with the team. There's nothing more exciting than where the Bills are headed. All we need is a quarterback, and we're going places.
Yep.
The great thing about the Bills being out of the playoffs now, guess what I get to be, Andy?
Drunk?
ABP.
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 Anybody
Anything but the Patriots. Go Tennessee Titans this week, everybody. Enjoy the games. Have a great week.
Tom Brady got away
Yeah!
with the late game. We know he's a douche and a jag off to boot. He cries when his hair's out of place. He sucked air out of balls. He denied he did wrong, and he whined like a baby to the judge. That smug, smiling grin, little dimple on his